So I'll take this opportunity to actually introduce both our jury members before we invite them on stage. So we have Shri Rabindra Kumar and Shri Himansu Mahapatra. Both have been here with us. We are really grateful since morning 8:45 a.m. to judge these students. Shri Rabindra Kumar has 5 books of poems, the last one being The House is Not for Knowing, and 5 books of translation from Odia, which includes Surendra Barik's poetry collection, Intimate as the Sky, and Rajendra Kishore Panda's thing. He earned his PhD with a dissertation on the poetry of legendary Jayanta Mahapatra and has had poems published in Weber Studies, the Canon Review, Times Literary Supplement, Ariel from Canada, Critical Quarterly, the Literary Review, World Literature Day, Kuna PP, Vasafiri, and Westerly. He was the managing editor of Chandrabhaga, a literary magazine that was founded and edited by Jayanta Mahapatra. We also have as jury members Shri Himansu Mahapatra, a former professor of English, Utkal University. Along with author Paul Saint-Pierre, he has produced an edited volume of Odia stories in English translation titled The Other Side of Reason, and 3 books of translation, Following My Heart, an autobiographical work by J.M. Jordan, Battles of Our Own, an industrial novel by Jagdish Mahanti, and Basanti, writing The New Woman, the first woman-oriented Odia novel written by 9 authors in 1931. A selection of his literary journalism has been published as Model of the Middle. His latest translation book is The Life and Times of Kahari Chandan, a coming-of-age novel by Dipti Patnaik. So can we make some noise for both our jury members here? Thank you so much for your presence. And of course, we would like to take this opportunity to invite them on stage if they are ready with their scores. 1 more minute? Yes, sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we are again very, very grateful to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Orissa, Shri K.V. Singhdeo, for joining us. And, one of the most trusted and popular faces of the first BJP government in Orissa, Shri K.V. Singhdeo, the Royal Scion of Balangir, is also one of the most experienced, the 6th-time MLA from Patnagarh Assembly segment. Shri Singhdeo holds the portfolios of Agriculture, Farmer Empowerment, as well as Energy Department. Previously, he's also served as Industries, Public Enterprises, and Urban Development Minister. So we are really, really grateful, sir, for your presence here today with us. Okay, to give away some more information to all of you while our jury members come here, we will have 3 winners. The third prize will comprise a check of rupees 10,000. The second prize, a check for rupees 15,000. And the first prize, the winner takes a check for rupees 25,000. So that is for these students. Can we make some noise for that? And it's so good to see that although there were just 6 students who came from 6 different schools, their friends, have joined in to encourage them. That's something really, really nice. So make some noise for yourself because you've come to cheer your friends. I suggest maybe we could do the calculation on behalf of the jury members. If they've just given the scores, we can calculate. And yes, I'll now take this opportunity to invite both of them on stage without any further delay. Please welcome Shri Rabindra Kumar and Shri Himansu Mahapatra. I'll request both of them to first address the audience about their experience with this round and what they think about poetry and young minds before we invite the top 3 to recite the poems, and then we, of course, give away the prizes.
Hello, hello. Am I audible? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Very good morning to all of you. So, I first of all express my deep gratitude to the New Indian Express for having invited me to this 12th edition of Odisha Literature Festival. I have known this festival since 2012 when it was first organized in this place in the Mayfair Convention. And from 2012 to 2024, it has been an extraordinary journey. Now, today, I and my co-panelist, Rabindra Kumar Swai, were given this unique opportunity to judge poems written by young school students. And we judged the poems written, the poems composed, right here, instant compositions. We gave the topic. The first topic that we gave was expressing your feelings in the form of a poem when you first see the rain-soaked earth and the dew-soaked leaves. We basically wanted the students to react to their feelings, to express their feelings about nature, about the smell, the fragrance, and the sight of nature. So that was our first topic. And the second round, we gave another topic, just expressing your feelings about a lost friendship, a friendship that has been lost in course of life, in course of life's progress. And the students did a super job. I must congratulate them on their ability to instantly compose these poems with very good choice of vocabulary, with wonderful choice of words. And so I give them a big hand on my behalf and on behalf of my co-panelist, Rabindra Kumar Swai. Now I would like my co-panelist, Rabindra Kumar Swai, to speak a few words about this, and then I can talk about some other aspect.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar, everybody. So this selection process was quite daunting. Everyone did well, all the students participating in the composition of poems. It's not an easy task. It's not a journalistic piece of writing. It's an imaginary piece. And works of such kind are not done so quickly. Still then they have taken up the challenge. They composed very good, compact poems. All of them were good. First, second, third is not important. They have command over the language. They have the imagination to mold the language in their way. Someone says, we did it togetherly. Someone says about the first rain on a parched earth. So all of them could relate themselves to nature, which is important, and relate with each other. The other one being absent, being not mentioned, still then that feeling is there. So they are capable of capturing their feelings. In this context, I am reminded, if you are asked to write a piece of poem, Nissim Ezekil, he was to read out his poems abroad. He was not satisfied with his earlier poems. So he wrote a poem the night before the meeting, and that poem turned out to be classic. That poem is The Night of the Scorpion. So these are the examples you are going to follow. Thank you, all of you. Sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabi, for your insights into the process of composition itself. And Rabi, being the poet, has an eye for how words are used. And that is, I think, what is unique about poetry. If you ask me, what what actually goes into the making of a poem, I would say that the words are the most important thing. A poet is a wordsmith. A poet is a user of language, a user of words. So it is not ideas as such which count in the writing of poetry. If a person has a unique way of relating to language, relating to words, that he or she can really become a writer and a poet. In this connection, I remember a very interesting observation that I read in a book called The Writing Life by Annie Dillard. Annie Dillard, The Writing Life, in which she says that, somebody asks a very established writer about how he or she will be a writer, and this writer tells this young person, the apprentice, do you love words? Do you love language? Do you love sentences? Do you love expressions? If you do, then you can make a start. So here, the important thing is that you do not start with a big idea about, writing to change the world, writing to change society. You basically write to develop a feeling for language. And that is very, very important. I was thinking about, when I was thinking about what to say in my notes or in my remarks, I was thinking about a very interesting movie that I had seen some time back. It's called Dead Poets Society. It was made in 1988, directed by Peter Weir. Dead Poets Society is about how a young teacher in a school sets out to inspire young students to write poetry, to comprehend poetry, and to appreciate poetry. One of the first things that he says is, what do you think of language? What is language for? What is the purpose of language? The traditional wisdom says that we use language to communicate. But then, Mr. Keating, the English teacher, says that language was never meant to communicate. It was never meant to transmit messages. Language is always used to woo, to quote women. So there is a chorus of laughter at this. But I think he spoke the truth. Basically, we use language to persuade people, to make an impression on people. And that is what is the most important thing that a poet should learn. Any developing poet, any upcoming poet should learn to develop a feeling for words. So, I was thinking about two things in connection with poetry. One is, a poet creates new words, and number two, a poet also infuses new meanings into existing words. Now let me give you two examples, and both the examples are from John Milton, a very celebrated poet. He is known for his famous epic, his great epic, Paradise Lost, which he wrote in 1667. I'm choosing examples from Milton to show how a poet creates new language. Now, in Paradise Lost beginning, the invocation scene, Milton says, Siloa's brook flowed fast by the oracle of God. Flowed fast by the oracle of God. Now, what is the meaning of fast here? One would say that fast means speedy. It flowed speedily by the oracle of God. But that is not the meaning that Milton intends. Fast is close to, near. So he could have used close to. Why did he not say flowed close to the oracle of God? Because he wanted to achieve the effect of what is called alliteration. Flowed fast by the oracle of God. Now, this is an example. The second example is to how a poet creates new words. Now, again in Paradise Lost, Milton makes Sutton say this: how can men be attempted best? How can men be attempted best? Now, here the word attempt is not try. It's not try. It's a combination of two words, attack and tempt. So how can men be attempted best? How can he be attacked best? Or how can men be tempted best? So by using this word, Milton is changing the conventional syntax. And that is something that I saw even in the poems that I read by these young poets. They used words in a refreshing way, in a fresh way, and that is what I liked about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. 5 minutes? 2 minutes? Oh, 2 minutes. Oh, no, oh, no, please go ahead.
We can go ahead. Can we call them for recital?
It's not at all important. Please ask the students to read out their poem.
Sure. Thank you.
Still
Thank you
better.
so much, sir. I'm so sorry, but we have a time schedule and would like to stick to that. So before we invite the Deputy Chief Minister here, we have the top 3 winners. We would like them to come and recite the poems. Let me tell the audience, we are not announcing who's third, second, first. We are just calling them in random order. We'll do that only in presence of the Deputy Chief Minister when he's on stage with us. So I'm just calling in random order. First, let's hear it for Tarun Tapan Bhuiya. Can you please come here on stage and introduce from which school you are and recite your poem.
A very good morning. My name is Tarun Tapan Bhuiya and I'm from Sai International School. My poem is titled Your Evanescent Company. Your smile still lives in the serenity of my vespers. My heart still attunes itself on how to live on by. And as the rain settles the dust, I humbly remember a promised land which now decays as bittersweet flashes of what once was in the changing sand. The stolen moments, O dearest pal, I hold close to the aching corners of my smile as I ponder on those innocent days of our mischief in the ancestral tiles. And the chasm which remains in the void of my mind reminds me of a bittersweet truth that you are a memory which I fail to leave behind. And the school corridors remind me of our jolly days. Now I clasp on to the telephone which rings no more, and the riverbank makes me ponder on the place where we soaked our feet, and now where the lone swan lays. And the beaches don't feel joyous as time crumbles the castles we built by the shore. And I sit on this solitude of my company, wondering how it would have been if the sun rose from the west and we never forgot who we might have been. And I ponder if you saw in us what I had seen. Thank you.
I don't think we could ever write something like this when we were kids. That was so good. And just to add context, the topic was about a lost friendship, a friendship that they have lost, and they had to express feelings for that. And they've all written it in 15 minutes, just to be very clear. Okay, I'll invite the next one, Takshil Mahanti. Yes, let's hear it for that. 15 minutes they have done this.
Good morning, everyone. I am Takshil Mahanti from KIT International School. My poem is titled Days Forlorn. I remember the days we saw together, sitting on benches, fits of laughter, oblivious to the world that surrounds. I remember the fights we had, the radio silence, burning in rage, ignoring the other out of spite and hatred. But still we always knew a dawn would always come. Bruises would always heal. We would always hope. A time came when I don't still recall. We started meeting less and each always ended awkward. I wait for a new dawn, one that has not come yet. Thank you.
All right, that was so good. The next one, Prapti Pratiksha Sahu.
Warm greetings, everybody. I am Prapti from DAV Unit 8. I'm in 10th grade, and today I'll be reciting my poem, Lost and Found. In sweet-smelling meadows, we once did roam. There was laughter, there was joy, and there was home. But time flows like water in a river. The more it goes, the more it takes away. But do not weep, my friend. Someday, somewhere, you'll unearth your essence precious and rare as the road not taken goes on and bends. They say they don't understand, and they don't have to. Understand yourself first and let go of the loose strands. For people come and go like trains on a platform, and if you cannot detach yourself, it is your thinking you must transform. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Trust the universe's game. Take one step at a time and always believe that the right ones will never leave. Thank you for your patience.
Well, congratulations to all three of you. We'll get to know the winners in a short while. But before that, can I take this opportunity with a huge round of applause from all of you to invite the Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri K.V. Singhdeo, to please join us on stage here. And I'll request the editorial director of the New Indian Express, Shri Prabhu Chawla, to please, welcome him also on stage the traditional way. So, yeah, I do. Can we'll do the traditional welcome, of course. Can we have the bouquet, please? बीच में बैठे. Can we be a little quick here? I'd like to thank Shri Chawla for welcoming him. I'll request Shri K.V. Singhdeo to please take a seat with the jury members as well, so that when the winners are also announced, the jury members are here with us. Thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, I have said this since morning, but we are truly privileged that the Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri K.V. Singhdeo, is here with us. Learned, suave, a very amicable royal, and elegance personified. May I now request him to deliver the keynote address.
I, at the outset, would like to thank the New Indian Express Group, especially my dear friend Shri Prabhu Chawla ji, Shiva Mahanti and Vijay Pradhan for having convinced me to be present here amongst such an august gathering. This is probably the first literary festival that I'm attending. The 12th literary festival is my first literary festival that I am attending. And it was indeed a pleasure hearing the young budding poets who have penned down their thoughts. I would only like to request them, you have put on paper very beautifully, and may God bless you and may you not stop writing ever. When I was speaking to Siba yesterday, I asked him what is the topic that I'm supposed to speak on. He said anything. Now, anything can mean anything. But what I would like to say, since this is a literary festival, and literature or history, whatever we read about, is what is written by others. And if you go into the history of the country, rulers never had the opportunity of writing their own histories except for probably Rana Kumbha of Mewar. You've had rulers who were great patrons who did entrust people to write the history of the area, but most of the time, if you look at the books that we get to read, is about the praise for the person, the ruler of that period. I'll be very candid and honest with you. You people in school are getting this opportunity of writing poems and things which we in our times never did get. And I was not one of the brightest of students. I was always a last bencher, never paying attention in class to what was being taught or spoken. We had our heart and soul on the play field. And sports is something which I, for one, spent most of the time in school. It is only after having got involved in politics that one got down to lawmaking and getting to read something. I have read a lot of books, but the last book which I read recently meaning when Corona happened, because that's the only time one got free time to get down to reading, was a book called Yugant. I don't know if any of you have read that book. It's written by Dr. Iravati Karve. Dr. Iravati Karve lived in Germany. And while she was in Germany, she used to be called for dinners, and whenever she went for a dinner, people would discuss with her about the Mahabharata. And she said, she's mentioned in the book that when people asked me about the Mahabharata, I was perplexed and I didn't know what to say till I started doing my research on the Mahabharata. And if you read that book, it's not a very thick book. I would rather recommend to all you young students here in the audience today that read that book. It will teach you about our art and culture. In that book, she mentions how in the good old days, sorry, Diksha, how much time do I have? Thank you. I don't want the bell ringing somewhere. In that book, she mentions that when she used to go for these parties and she used to be asked to speak on the Mahabharata, she narrated in one of the incidents where because Germany referred to their country as the fatherland, whereas we here refer to our country as the motherland, Matrubhumi. We talk about Matrubhasha. Now, if somebody was to tell me that India is your motherland, I would say yes. But if they would say that Oriya is your Matrubhasha, I would say no, my mother is from Gujarat, so Gujarati should be my Matrubhasha, if you look at it literally. But she explains in that when she was asked that you talk about the Pandavas. The Pandavas were 5 brothers, but Kunti had 6 sons. And each of her sons had a separate father. And if all the fathers of Kunti's children were separate, then how did they become Kshatriyas? The only logic behind that is that स्त्री की जाति से ही पुरुष की जाति होती थी. We have changed it. We talk about today we say कि पुरुष की जाति से स्त्री की जाति होती है. That is not right. Matriarchal society existed and it still does exist amongst the tribals and the people of the Northeast. The other issue she has further elaborated upon, she is elaborated in that book and she has said that when Draupadi was married and brought, and when Kunti, in front of Kunti, she was produced by the Pandavas, Kunti is supposed to have said, पांचों भाई समान आकार से बांट के खा लो. It is not that. What Kunti said was that she has accepted all you 5 brothers as her husband because Swayamvar hota tha un dino. Now in the Swayamvar, you go back to the Ramayana Yuga. In the Ramayana Yuga also, Sita ka Swayamvar people talk about. Ram was also there, Lord Ram was there, so was Ravan. And Sita went and put the garland on Lord Ram and not on Ravan. So the anger Ram took out by taking her away. That is what we have read. The point I am trying to make here, that somebody once asked me, how many months are there in a year? Now, I normally go to functions like this, and I ask the students and the youngsters there, tell me how many months in a year? I would like to put this question to everybody here. How many months in a year do we have in a calendar? 12. What is the 12th month's name? December. What is the 11th month's name? November. What is the 10th month's name? Ashtambar. What is the 9th month's name? September. How did it become 12? Has anybody ever tried to analyze and think about it? When Julius Caesar came to the throne, he said there must be a month named after me, so July was inserted into the calendar. And when he was succeeded by Augustus Caesar, Augustus said, if Julius can have a month named after him, why not me? So August was also inserted into the calendar. That is how it became 12 months, and that is why July has 31 days and so does August. You had to cut off 2 days from February. This is something we need to all understand, that let us not go by bookish knowledge. What we are taught in school is all okay, but try to analyze the word, and from the word try to derive the meaning from it. Now if we look at into our geography book, we talk about Bhugol. In Hindi you call it Bhugol, meaning the world is round. Earth is Bhu and Gol means round. But if you look at the Bible, what is the first sentence? God unfolded the carpet. Now a carpet, when unfolded, it becomes flat. That is the reason why when Columbus set out to look for India, he landed up in the West Indies, because the belief there was that the world is flat. Whereas our mythology, not only our mythology, our knowledge in India was that the earth is round. We must all you young minds over here and all the jury members here must try to imbibe into the young minds today how to analyze each and every word and take things forward in life. I once again would like to thank the entire audience, the bright minds here, the young students here, for having given me this opportunity of sharing few of my thoughts before you. Thank you ever so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
That's a high difference. Thank you so much, sir. We are really privileged for this wonderful address. I think it's a very apt address and a very insightful address that you have given for the first session of Day 2 of Odisha Literary Festival. Can we have a huge round of applause for that? Well, we had heard the top three, winners. We'll now actually inform who's the third, who's the second, and who's the first from those three. We'll announce the winners, and of course, we'll request the Deputy Chief Minister to do the honors and give away the checks to them. But before we do that, could I request the editorial director of the New Indian Express to please, Mr. Prabhu Chawla, to please join on stage as we give away the prizes. So, okay, students, are you excited? No, see, what is this? Yes. I mean, after such a enthusiastic and inspiring address, you need to be a little more, energetic. Are you excited to know the winners? Yes. Wonderful. So we'll start with, yes. Could I also request Mr. Siva Mahanti, the resident editor of the New Indian Express, Bhubaneswar, to please join on stage as we give away the prizes. So we'll start with the third prize, and this comprises a check of rupees 10,000, and that goes to, any guesses? Okay, it's Takshil Mohanty, Kit International School from class 11. Congratulations, Takshil. Congratulations, Takshil. We'll move to the second winner, the second prize, a check for rupees 15,000. And this goes to the youngest one from the three and the only female out of the three. So yes, it goes to Pratiksha Sahu from DAV Unit 8. She's in class 10. All right. Prapti Pratiksha with that beautiful smile. Congratulations. And yes, no prizes for guessing. The winner is for a check for rupees 25,000. Tarun Tapan Bhuya, class 11, Sai International School. I would also like to inform the audience that Tarun was the runner-up of Limericks last year, organized by the New Indian Express as well. Can we have all the three winners? Yes, come quickly, we'll have a group photograph. All right, their happy faces say it all. Congratulations once again to all of you. And I now also request Mr. Prabhu Chawla to do the honors and also present a memento to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri K.V. Singh Deo. And then, of course, to also our panelists as a gesture of appreciation from the New Indian Express family. That's a wonderful gesture from our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister. We don't get to see that often. I'll also request Mr. Chawla to present mementos to our panelists, and of course, then we'll have the group photograph. We are thankful to both our jury members. They were, took out time from their schedule on a Sunday morning and were here from 8:45 to judge these little kids.